Hi everybody, wanted to do a quick video on calories in, calories out. It doesn't work, does it? That really became popular about 50 years ago or so. And, it's the whole eat less, move more movement. And it was a spectacular failure because we have the highest obesity rates in history right now. And we have people that are counting calories, weighing their food, doing all their macros, all of this kind of stuff. And they aren't losing weight. Why is that? And yet they're moving more, they're taking in less calories, all of those kinds of things. All right. Number one, a calorie is just a measurement for the thermogenic effect of food. Now, that's when you put it in a Bunsen burner and you burn the darn thing and you see, oh, well, this has 100 calories of energy that is being put off when I burn it, okay? But that's not what's happening in the body because, number one, there is 0 calorie receptors in any cell of the body. The body does not know what a calorie is, okay? So, shocker. Forget calories. They do not matter. Everybody knows that guy or that girl that can go out and stuff themselves silly and are as skinny as a skeeter, right? And then we know the other person that is, 300 pounds and eats, 2 carrots and a Diet Coke and cannot budge a pound. So what is going on here? Okay, so it's not calories that we need to be looking at. All right, it's food is information. And that information comes into the body and it has a conversation with the body. There are cellular receptors and that ignites certain hormones in the body. So food is actually a hormone activator. That's a much more appropriate way to discuss food and the energy that it does. So let's take a 100-calorie cookie, regular sugar, full fat, flour, the whole 9 yards cookie, and let's take 100 calories of broccoli dipped in organic butter, okay? Both are 100 calories. One will flip the fat storing switch. The other one, the broccoli dipped in butter, will actually flip the switch that releases fat and burns fat. Now, why is that? Because the 100-calorie cookie causes massive amounts of insulin to be released in the body. Number one, it's total glucose. I mean, the minute it hits your tongue, it's breaking down. And within seconds, that glucose begins to hit the bloodstream. Seconds, people. The minute that glucose hits the bloodstream, it is sending an information signal to the pancreas that it needs to release insulin and try to push that glucose into this cell to be used. What happens is that in our society, we are super, super insulin resistant, which means that the cell, you cannot fit any more glucose into that poor little cell because you've been eating 6, 7, 8 times a day and you're trying to shove glucose into a cell that's like stuffed. It cannot fit anymore. So those receptors on the cell wall say, can't have any more. But yet the pancreas spews out more insulin because it's like, but that's my job, is to get glucose into the cell. And so those receptors become resistant. This is the same thing that happens with alcoholics. The more alcohol they drink, the less they get drunk. Really? I mean, that's what happens. So we become very adapted to eating this way. Drugs are that way. Pretty much everything is that way. The body is this super adaptable machine. It's constantly changing. So that insulin is a fat storing hormone. So that glucose has to go somewhere. So it's like, and the insulin can't do its job because it can't get into the cell. So it just gets shoved right into the fat store. Bam. Well, that 100-calorie cookie, but it said on the package it's 100 calories. It's got the American Heart Association's Smart Heart Check on there, which is a bunch of BS too. So, because they were paid by the food company to put their little Heart Smart Check on there. Yeah, it's a great system we got going on here, people. But you know what? Education helps us so that we can choose and make our own decisions, and we don't have to worry about big corporations, which I have nothing against big corporations. But I do have issues when people don't understand how their bodies work. So here's your opportunity to learn. Okay, so that gets the fat switch going, and you immediately plug that 100 calories, bam, into your fat cells, and it doesn't get burned. Okay, now you take the broccoli dipped in butter, and you're like, yeah, but that's bad, right? Wrong. And that we've had some amazing, very brave doctors out there that are like, hey, our system is really broken and we have a lot of obese people, and what we're doing is not working. Calories in, calories out does not work. Move more, eat less does not work. Both spectacular failures the last 50 years, okay? Spectacular failures. It does not work. So taking this broccoli dipped in butter sends information into the system. Now, the body has two forms of fuel. It can burn glucose or ketones, and it actually runs really, really well on ketones, which is the end product of breaking fat down. And that is the actual energy source that the body uses, is ketones. So by taking in the broccoli with butter, same amount of calories as the cookies, but instead it has a completely different hormone switch. Zero insulin is produced in the body, pretty much. I mean, you're talking so minute amount. And so the cellular resistance to insulin gets stop. It actually increases. So insulin can now do its job and put glucose into the cell if it needs to. And so that hasn't been blocked. That cell is open to receiving glucose now, and the insulin can do that. So then you don't have these super high insulin levels running through the body because it can't shove more glucose into the cell. So metabolic resistance, insulin resistance gets reduced, and the body then begins to burn fat for fuel. And so it recognizes that as a fuel source, and it says, hey, we can use this. And not only that, it begins to open up, especially when you change how you're eating, and the delayed eating, such as an intermittent fasting and that kind of things, allows the body a chance to rest and relax, utilize fat stores instead of constantly shoving food into our bodies. It's able then to use our own fat stores. And so the signal when you take in broccoli with butter is not fat storage. It actually flips a skinny switch because there isn't the insulin circulating around. Now, if you ate the broccoli with butter with bread, little different story, okay? But my point here is that calories in, calories out is a spectacular failure. Stop counting calories. Stop weighing your food. It's really pointless. It's all about the information, and it's about what hormones are being flipped on in the body that decides whether we're going to store that food as fat or if we're actually going to pull fat out of the fat stores and burn that for fuel. All right. Any questions? Give the Health Ranch a call. I'd love to help you out. And if you really are like, I'm a metabolic mess, I can help you with that. All right. Hope you guys have a great day. Happy trails, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.